Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are, and welcome to NerdTube. I'm going to be filling in for for the next 25 days. I hope you can tolerate me. Today, we're going to be talking about Hawkeye, episode 3 called Echo. And I'm with my two usual, my new friends over here, Cousin Tito and Gary. Hello, guys, how are you doing?
Hi.
Tito?
I don't know where to even begin with this right now.
I don't either.
And yeah, don't worry too much. You get used to it, I promise. So today we had the latest episode of Hawkeye, and it was called Echo because we were introduced to a new character called Echo. She's a deaf character, and she has a prosthetic leg. Now she's come across as a bad guy in this particular episode, and we saw a little bit of her early life, including possibly Kingpin. Did you guys pick up on that? Or was it only me?
No, I picked up on it, but I thought I got more vibes from like it was the uncle, or not the uncle, the stepdad for Bishop. Is I think the uncle is going to be Kate Bishop's stepdad. I can't remember what his name is. The guy with the weird mustache.
Oh, Jack, the swordsman, huh?
Yeah. I think it's gonna be him. I don't think it's gonna be. I mean, I got Kingpin vibes, but I really think it's gonna turn out to be the uncle.
How about you, Gary Yar?
uh, I agree. I agree with you. I did get Kingpin vibes from, but again, like it'll be interesting because this is a very like small small size compared to. I mean, the other one, the other series have been about what 10 episodes. What's it been about 10 episodes? I've been 10 to 12 in a way. Around
For what?
that sort
Oh,
of.
we're talking
Uh,
Daredevil?
yeah, not just but you're like Winter Soldier for One Division for they're about like 10 to 12, like 10 about 10 episodes each.
How many episodes was Falcon and Winter Soldier? Was it
Six. This one,
six
Hawkeye
again?
is six. Falcon and Winter Soldier six. Loki
Okay,
was
Okay.
six.
okay.
It's
Uh,
amazing that you're already halfway through the season already. You know, this one feels very quick. And I think because we got 2 episodes in the first week. Would you agree? But then
yeah.
again, I understand it has to line up with Christmas because we're all about the Christmas, huh? So yes, it's totally understandable. Anyways, what we also got in this episode was more this Echo girl because we found out that she has a grudge against the Ronin because we see the Ronin doing his massacres of the bad guys, and one of the bad guys he kills is Echo's father. Oh yeah, I couldn't believe it. Echo's dad was possibly a bad guy, but we never saw him do his bad guy shenanigans. But nevertheless, the Ronin had massacred an entire garage full of people, killing them all. It was quite an amazing scene for Disney because we saw blood on the windows and stuff like that. It was very un-Disney-like, don't you think so, Titor?
Yeah, I can't. I can't. Anyway, yeah. I mean, it didn't phase me any, and I mean, Disney's not afraid to show a little bit. I mean, they just they don't put their logo on it. I mean, we go back to like the '90s when they had like Miramax as a Disney property, but just didn't have the Disney logo under on it. So I'm waiting for Disney 18 plus section to come out where it's going to be like Deadpool and all like hopefully Blade and all these other movies that should be rated R. Some of the X-Men movies maybe that are rated R, but yeah, I mean, it wasn't jarring or anything for me.
How about yourself, Gary?
uh, I thought the same thing as Cheeto that it's very um seems very concerned because of the end. Now uh I know that Cheeto liked it, but again I'm divided on it because as somebody who has a disability, for people who don't know, I have a dyspraxia, which isn't the same thing as like having deafness from birth, but it's still something that I have to make adjustments for in my real life. And I think it was good to see that depicted on a mainstream Marvel property. Here's this person who has had to adapt and improve, and it's not something that's held her back. In fact, it's strived her to be, this intense person that she is now. It's impacted, some of her life, and that she's used it as a strength almost. And I like the fact that she, that was the good parts, and the fact that Hawkeye, because he has his hearing aid removed, now has to learn what this woman who's had an entire she looks like she's like 25 or 26, like 20 odd years to adapt. He's got to adapt with it within moments, and it's one of those things where that's, I don't want to say it's a superpower, but it shows like how people sometimes could be, I get it. It happens in real life even, because it's not, it's not as drastic as people, ripping out your hearing, but some people, become blind after strokes, or become deaf after strokes, or have problems speaking after strokes, or other diseases, with COVID recently, even if we want to use that, some people, it's changed their lives. That, some people have lost their hearing and off sight or sense of taste, forever because of COVID. So, they've had to adapt to that, and the thing is that this entire series is about the good things about this series was that. Now I'm going to get to the bad in a moment, but I'll let you explain because I did go in a bit there.
I mean, yeah, we've been getting a lot more people with actual disabilities on these shows. I mean, if you think about it, there was a guy with a prosthetic leg amputation on Punisher. This past season of Titans, Barbara Gordon and the actual actors have these amputations. Barbara Gordon is missing a leg, and now Hawkeye's got hearing disability. Echo's got a hearing disability. I don't normally consider. I mean, I guess Daredevil did a good job at portraying how a blind person would be, but at the same time, when you have a disability, but then your superpower is to see like better than what the original thing was, I don't know if I consider that as impactful as like Hawkeye losing his hearing, because it's not like he was like, he could super hear. I mean, honestly, if you think about it, he more relies on his sight because he's Hawkeye instead of Hawkeyer.
Well, in my opinion, I like what they did with the Echo character. You see, when we have blind characters, and I've seen many a blind character in 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 media in the past. There's a movie called Blind Fury. There's this blind character in Mortal Kombat, and obviously we have Daredevil too. They usually the other senses they have tend to be better because they are blind. I like the way Echo has better visuals because she's deaf. And she's able to copy people and see everything, every minute detail because she uses her eyesight more because she's deaf. Nevertheless, I think she's a very interesting character, very complex character, and it'll be interesting to see where we go from here with her in the future. Daniel once says there was a bunch of Doctor Strangelove Easter eggs in this episode. Airy fairy, this old tie somehow tied to General Ross. Oh, what do you think of that, guys? General Ross, huh?
Possibly.
I mean, we're still supposed to get Yelena Belova in this series. At least that's the way they teased it at the end of Black Widow. So I mean, if General Ross is connected to the Thunderbolts, in which normally he is, but if he's connected to the Thunderbolts, I mean, and yeah, they send Yelena Belova after Hawkeye, because I mean, she's supposed to still show up. I don't even see how she's gonna fit in this, and we got 2 episodes left. Like, I'm not expecting her to be some like
3 episodes.
yeah, okay, 3 episodes left, but still, Like, is she gonna team up with Clint, or is she gonna And I know she's not gonna be the big bad. I mean, she's not the big crime boss that they keep talking about. That's gonna be Swordmaster, whoever Swordmaster will turn out to be. Because I'm not convinced it's the uncle or.
Is it a bait and switch?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a bait and switch. I think everyone's going to be convinced it's the upcoming stepfather.
Oh, cool.
Well,
the stepfather, yeah.
I think that the uncle for Echo and the uncle for Echo and what's his face is the guy that Bishop's mom is marrying. Let me put it that way. I can't remember his name.
I don't think so.
You don't
Jack.
think so?
I don't think so. I
Okay.
hope I'm right on this. I think there's multiple characters. I personally think that Jack's uncle, who died in the first episode, was killed by Kate's mom.
Well, and that was going to be my thing. Is I think it's going to be a bait and switch, and I think she's going to be the Swordmaster. I don't think. I mean,
No, I think the Swordmaster is still Jack.
You really think so?
He got swords everywhere around the house. He took the sword at the auction. He's obsessed with sword, hence he's the Swordmaster.
I'm not saying that but I'm not saying he has to suck at swords not to be Swordmaster.
And the fencing as well. Remember that?
Yes, I know he's good with swords, but that doesn't mean he's Swordmaster. And we haven't seen her wield a sword.
I mean, she's better. In the comic books, I believe it was Kate's father who was the bad guy. I think they're just swapping it around and making it Kate's mother. That is it. I think
that's what I just said. I think it's going to be the mother. I think the big switch is going to be that his mom.
But the father wasn't Swordmaster. You know, and also there's a possibility that this uncle guy, if he is Kingpin, might have been the man who killed Arnold as well. There's a possibility. I put all the presents I gave to all the children this year. I put it all on this man being Kingpin. Is it because I believe it that much? It would not be another Mephisto. It would be for real. Kingpin this man will be, yeah? Anyway, Daniel 1 says, I think Kate's mom used the attack on New York to kill her husband. I think so too, Daniel.
I agree.
Good opportunity. And yet the hint was the rocket hobby horse Kate was bound to. It was an X1, which required a mothership to launch. I'm totally confused by this. What does he mean by this?
I have no idea.
Is he trying to make a joke?
Could be.
Fair enough.
It was an X1, which requires a mothership to launch. What?
I think there might be a joke in there. Oh. Nevertheless, we get to a lovely action scene now, because Clint Barton, being the very resourceful man that he is, was always playing the tracksuit mafia for fools, because they are fools. And he manages to get himself free. And while doing that, we see him running around the warehouse, getting his bow and arrow back, doing a few quick shots here and there, shooting people in the hands and the arms and the legs. Like the way he stabbed those guys in the feet with the arrows. Very nice, very inventive. And then he gets Kate Bishop with an arrow on her bounds. And both people escape in the car, but they don't take the charger because they don't want to break the window. Unbelievable, huh? Nevertheless, they get in the car and we have a great scene from within the car, in my opinion. Because we see it from within the car, the camera is moving all around the car. And we see all this action happening inside the car. Did you very much appreciate the visuals of what we were seeing? Gary, because I know you don't like a car chase, huh?
Well, I didn't like this car chase because he went because again we had that like really serious like fight scene between Echo, the gangs, the tracksuit mafia, and and Hawkeye, and then all of a sudden it went into wacky music mode. And it was like he puts the thing in, and all of a sudden it's like classical music time. I thought, oh, is this going to be Fantasia? No, it was even worse. It reminded me of Beethoven, and I don't mean the piano playing, genius. I'm talking about
Oh, you're
the
talking the
awful.
dog.
Yeah, I'm talking the flaming dog, which was awful. All films are awful, right? And it reminded me of that. It was like it was awful, right? And the thing is that I don't mind platforms or like some of comedy chase sequences, but at least have it be tonally accurate. What was going on is that they were talking about some serious talk dates. They were talking about deafness. They were talking about loss. They were talking about familial ties and stuff like that. Who was your father really? All that sort of stuff that could be really interesting. But no, they ruined it all with this like what's the word slapdash
Slapstick?
flaming. Yeah, it was awful.
I just
I,
want
I
to
I didn't like this. I'm sorry.
just want to get to a couple of messages, please. X1 Bell is a plane. It requires mothership to launch. Kate is bound to her mom and can't become an Avenger without her. Kate's mom is a baddie. Yes, I agree. And thank you. No budget. Oh, why the amount not showing? I don't understand.
It's
But
over there on the right
nevertheless,
side.
nevertheless.
But he didn't put
Oh
a
yes, I
message
see
in
it.
there.
I see it. I see it.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
yeah. So Vance, if you put a message on, you can just read it.
Well, it's fine. It's fine. But nevertheless, thank you, Rance. What a one-pan Rance. Much appreciated. The kiddies are gonna be so happy. There's money from once. I'm gonna be sending it to everybody on January, sorry, December 24th. I can't wait.
I can't understand a single word you're saying. Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ, I know him very well. He's a good man. Can't wait to catch up on the show. Oh yes,
Well,
thank you,
Van, that
thank you, Rance. Thank you, Rance. Much appreciated. Now, I just want to say that yes, some kids won't get called, and if they do get called, they have to do a Superman free on it, and they turn into a diamond. I promise you, this is what I do. Now, oh, I love you too. I love you too. I'm going to send you many gifts, my friend, many.
notice
Now,
he didn't say gifts. He said gifts. So he's gonna send you many gifts on Facebook.
oh
That
yes,
means he's going to send you. That's probably means he's going to send you porn. But anyway,
the chick arrows, Gary. I'll talk about the arrows. Now we got to see a wide selection of what
the
Clint
plug, yeah.
Barton has in his fat sack. Not as fat as my sack, but his sack was very fat, full of arrows, and they had a nice selection of arrows. And we saw all manners of arrows. Now, cousin Gito, what did you think of the arrows?
I mean, I enjoyed it. I mean, I've always thought that Hawkeye needed a little bit more shine. Did I necessarily think he needed a movie? No. But this is nice that he's getting like a show on Disney Plus. I think this is exactly where it needs to be because a Hawkeye movie would just, let's be real, a Hawkeye movie would probably just be underwhelming. A Hawkeye show would probably give it time to breathe enough and you get to have fun with it, like car chases and trick arrows. And I love the fact that just Kate Bishop was just like marking out over these. She's like, trick arrows? We're out of regular trick arrows. Oh my gosh. And so I love how he's pulling a dad. He's pulling out. He's like, not this one, not this one, not this one. And she's like, and so she shoots the one and it blows up the van. And she's like, there were four more dangerous arrows than that. I liked it. It was fun. It was good, actiony fun.
I, when she blew up that van, she killed the man driving it. Because I watched it twice to make sure that that the guy didn't get out or I missed something. But no, she definitely killed that man. Well done, Kate. You're a real American. Now, uh, I hope that USB arrow had been formatted. Who knows what was on it otherwise? Yes, but I don't think Clint was too fast that she shot it because he never really brought it up again. But it was good to see the Pim arrow, don't you think, guys? Me,
Yeah.
I marked out so much. I felt like a wrestling fan again. What
Can
about
we
you
see?
guys?
Can we get a description of what an example of what that looked like?
I'm too old. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
know, you know. But I did. Let's just say this: my jaw, it hit the ground, and that doesn't happen often because the only thing hitting the ground is my big belly. Okay, but
Okay.
nevertheless, it was a very nice moment, and it just reminds you of this connected universe that we're in. And it's good to see someone like Hank Pym making technology for the Avengers. I want to see more Pym tech in the Avengers.
I
And
don't
it,
think Hank Pym made that. I think Janet, or I think what's her face, Hope.
Hope.
I think Hope did that. I don't see Hank being, and even I see Janet, but I don't see Hank as wanting to play with the Avengers. I really don't. I just bless you.
Bless you, my son.
Oh,
Bless you,
jeez.
my son. I send you all my
So, sorry,
blessings.
so,
I send
sorry
you all
about
my blessings. No problem. You know, you sneeze, I bless you. That is what I
that.
do.
But I mean, like, do you not? But you don't agree with me that the sort of music and the sort of comedic atmosphere was sort of like a bit totally different from what was preceding it, which was a very serious. See, if it's a little bit jokey beforehand, I could have gone with it, but they were talking about some pretty serious stuff.
I think
Or do
they,
you not?
I
What?
think they
Wait.
hide.
What?
Right.
Okay.
So
Wait.
all right.
Run that with me again, boss man, because I don't understand what you're saying.
Right. So the tone was totally different. It was a total 180. So
From the
beforehand,
car
when they were
chase?
no, before the car chase, when they were in
No,
the
you had
warehouse.
Hawkeye hiding in ball pits. They were strapped to frickin' what are those things? The merry-go-round things or whatever. Like the
I,
this. I
it was only serious at the beginning when we got to understand Echo a little bit. But
yeah.
once she was grown up, the fact that she was deaf was it had very little significance to everyone else because she wanted to kill those guys or possibly kill those guys. And I have to say that at one point when she was choking Kate Bishop, that one guy stopped her from choking her, which makes me think that they possibly know that she's the mafia are possibly working for Kate Bishop's mom. But I wasn't 100% sure because they were shooting at them with their guns. So I'm not 100% sure on that. But that could be the case, which is why that man stopped Maya, aka Echo, from choking Kate Bishop. Do you remember?
I
Yeah.
do.
So, but we had some sweet moments in this episode. It wasn't all wham bam, thank you zam. You know, we had moments when didn't have his hearing aid and he was pretty much deaf, and the communication between Clint and Kate was very sweet. And Kate is she's a woman, but she still comes across as a kid because she's very much uh, in awe of Clint Barton. And when Clint called her one of the greatest artists, you could see how much he appreciated that. I liked it very much. And when Clint was trying to talk to his son, the way she was writing things down, and she felt the pain a little bit of Clint always missing family occasions because of his work. You know, it was very sweet, very bittersweet. I liked it very much. You know, it made you really feel very sorry for Clint Barton because he's a man who has a family and he can't commit to his family because he has to save the world all the time. What did you guys think, Grinch? That's
Um,
you,
I
you
thought
guys.
the I thought the um, I thought the bit where he couldn't hear, I think it was his little boy on the phone, and she had to like read up, hold up. She had to write things down and hold them up, and you could see like his pain on his voice was just like as he realized what the little boy was saying and stuff like that, and he was just like, it's just held up the sides, and they were getting like progressively, more. I don't want to say depressing, but more heartfelt in a way that it was just like it was like which was lifting them up and stuff like that. I thought that was really a tender moment between the two, but also between his family that he could no longer hear. And I like the fact that he has that he needed her there for that.
Uh-huh.
That now he is deaf. He's had to. He doesn't know how to adapt to that part. As powerful as he is with the bow, there's still human weakness within him, and I like that.
Tito?
I'm lost. What are we talking about?
We're talking about
do you
the
know what?
moments where Clint doesn't have his hearing aid,
Okay,
and Kate,
gotcha. Okay,
and also the fact that Kate is very much in awe of Clint Barton because he called her the world's greatest archer, and there was times when they were communicating, but they were not necessarily listening to each other because Clint couldn't listen, and Kate kept forgetting that he's deaf.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I was talking about when they're in like the apartment and he's on the phone and he can't hear what his son's saying to him, and she has to like hold up, like
yeah. That's what I was going
right.
to comment on. That was a moment there that, as a parent, like I was kind of like, oh, like I mean, you know that look when you're like you can't you don't know if you can deliver on what you're saying you can do, but it's just that dread of as a parent of not being able to deliver to your kids, and that's something that that every parent's been through. So I kind of recognize that in him, and watching Kate interact with him during that sequence was actually really sweet. I mean, she knew that. So what are your Avenger Tower watch theories? That's one I can't quite. What do you mean Avengers Tower watch?
I think
Like
the
who
other one is
owns it?
actually space. The one's in space.
No, I think he means the watch that was in the auction in the first episode.
Oh, that's probably Tony Stark's Rolex or something. It's probably got some
No,
kind of.
I think that's Kingpin's watch.
Oh God. Okay. It might be. Okay.
Because if Tony Stark would wear something fancy wancy, it might be Howard Stark's watch. Well, not Tony's. You think we're going to get more of the next gen heroes
I
like
mean
this?
they've already confirmed that we're getting Young Avengers.
Yes, I know you can't wait for that, huh? I know you're looking forward to that more than anything, huh?
Who, me?
Yes,
Not
you.
really, not really Young Avengers. I'm more of a Champions person. Champions is kind of like the Teen Titans. They got I mean, and it's kind of now the Young Avengers, but I mean there's different people in there. They've got Vision's daughter, they've got Ms. Marvel, Miles Morales, Spider-Man, Sam Alexander's Nova, Riri Williams is Ironheart. I mean, they've got a bunch of characters in there that, and I know there's more, but I actually read the Champions comic books right now, and I mean, I'm okay with them doing a Young Avengers thing. So yeah.
I have to ask that it's not Zan, it is Zam. Zam is not available for the next 25 days until
This
just
this is
after
this
Christmas.
is this is Santa Claus.
This is Santa Claus. Look at the name, my son. Santa Claus. And I give you jalebi and rice. That's what I do. Because I do it for you.
Daniel Vance, I agree. I would actually, I honestly don't want another mainline Avengers movie yet. I wouldn't like I wouldn't mind there being like a Young Avengers movie or a West Coast Avengers movie. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be like universe ending stuff. Like it could be like Hawkeye, Scarlet Witch, Vision. Like those are all West Coast Avengers. So you could theoretically have a good West Coast Avengers lineup. You have U.S. Agent. I mean, you remind me of Santa Stripper. Whoa. Oh.
No stepping for me, my friend. You don't want to see this excess mass I got in you. I'm trying to raise
If
my
you donate
bed.
enough money, he might take off some clothes for you.
I might take off my beard for you. Is my beard?
But yeah, I mean, I would go for Young Avengers, West Coast Avengers, and then maybe go for like, then they can do like the big Kang movie, like as an actual Avengers movie. But I mean, you got to have Young Avengers with that. So,
In my opinion, I think eventually we're going to get a new leader of the Avengers, and I think it will be Peter Parker.
I hope not.
Eventually, because he won't be young man forever. And
I
I'm
don't
hoping
want Spider-Man as the leader of the Avengers. Everybody says that. Like, I don't want that. I hate that. I'm gonna get into my quips and thwips mode really quick, and I hate that idea of Spider-Man leading the Avengers. I don't want Spider-Man leading the Avengers.
Why?
Because
Why?
no, because just because Peter Parker was taken under Iron Man's wing does not mean he needs to be like the. You're going completely against what Peter Parker is, and that's a normal guy with superpowers.
No, I disagree. I remember in that cartoon from the 90s, he he teamed up with Madame Web on two occasions. He had to lead a team. First team was full of various superheroes like Storm from the X-Men and a few other people, and he was their leader.
Yeah,
And
in the
then
Secret
and
Wars.
and then and then he led a group of Spider-Men, all Peter Parkers. Do you remember? I remember this very well. I've been alive for 15 million years, and I do remember all of these things very well, my son.
Yes, I
Now,
know. I've seen those episodes. I own those episodes. And what the thing is that those were very well, except for Secret Wars. Secret Wars was kind of a rip off of the comic book, and in the comic book, Spider-Man was not the leader. Only reason why Spider-Man led that group in that show was because he was it's a Spider-Man show. It wasn't like, and they had Captain America on that team. They had Captain America in there. Didn't they have Iron Man in there too? They had Storm. They had, I mean, there were so many more leaders of that team that could have been leaders of that team better than Spider-Man. It's not even funny. And I'm sorry, I don't want Spider-Man leading the Avengers.
okay, let's not go too much on a tangent. Because if you
Yes,
do,
tangent.
no, I will send you some call, and you don't want that, huh? Okay, now I
Vance,
think
quips and
Peter.
thwips. No, we're going to talk about no leading for Spider-Man.
I think Peter will take over the mantle as well, and he'll be replaced by that time by Miles. I agree, my son. You're getting 5 presents. Now, I like this is what Vance has said. Vance, I like the evolution of MCU is a good thing. Even if this isn't your cup of tea, the fact that we're not where we were 10 years ago is a good thing. I totally agree. I'm also very happy that now every member of the original Avengers has had either their own movie or TV show, and that makes me very proud inside. Okay, let's continue. You can't be a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man if there's no neighborhood. I totally agree. Try telling Cheeto this. He doesn't understand. Okay.
I just don't want
Now,
him to be the neighborhood watch leader.
sorry, Grant. Please continue.
No, I was going to say, well, to get us back on track, well, they're apparently going to have an Echo TV series, which I go, again, if it's got this actress in it, I wish that they gave her more to say and do. Than, like, because I think she only signed a couple of times when she was talking to that guy who with the beard, which was when they were talking about that 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 it was her family who got killed and stuff like that, and to look into Cliff Barton. But apart from that, I wish I had more character out of her, so I can determine whether I want to see Echo the series.
Yeah, boss man, they've already announced the Echo series.
Mm.
But that's what I mean, whether I want to watch it or not. Because
Now,
the thing is that I need to see more of her.
I want to ask you guys a very serious question. The people who were killed in that garage, including Echo's dad, do you think that was Ronin who did the killing or an imposter?
I reckon it's an imposter.
I think it was Ronin. He was murdering people back in the. I mean, let me put it this way: if it wasn't him, it's the biggest cop out ever. Because I'm excited, because this is consequences for what Clint Barton did during the snap. That
I
5
agree.
years. So if it was an imposter Ronin, they're copping out.
I agree. I don't want it to be an imposter.
I'm going to say why I disagree with you, and here's why. I reckon what it's going to be like, he was in bed with Kate's mum, and that Kate's mum had him killed by having have someone dressed up as Ronan do it. So therefore,
Clint Barton was fucking Kate's mum. Is that what you're saying?
Why would he? No, I'm saying is that like. I think it's going to be that. I don't think it's going to be a bait and switch. It's going to be like he found a person Patsy, and that Ronan was killing enough people anyway. It was just somebody that.
So you're saying somebody had him wear the Ronin, or somebody wore the Ronin outfit to kill the trenchcoat mafia and frame Ronin. Yeah. But that's a cop out.
If it is somebody else, the only person it could be, in my opinion, is the swordsman Jack.
Well, all right,
it's still a cop out. It's a cop out because we're looking here and it's like, oh well, Clint. They said Clint killed all of these people. He even acknowledged that he killed so many people. Now we're like, okay, well this one's a little closer to home, and this one's a little closer to home, and well, I didn't do this one, so it's a cop out. Like it should have been Clint who killed all them. He should have to deal with the consequences, and the ramifications of that. Like I really feel like that would be a huge cop out if they had the swordsman kill this one group of people when Clint was going around killing every criminal anyway.
I agree. Well, Daniel once said, if Ronin in the garage with Clint, I expect Echo to recognize his moves, but they did make a point in Black Widow or talking about how blind one becomes when you only have half the information. Yes, because you need all the information, and we are still blind because we're only halfway through this show. So, now, there was... Sorry, please continue.
I was going to say, well, the thing is that because again, I understand where Cheetah's coming from because we've never seen a hero who's done horrible deeds have their well, apart from Tony Stark, obviously, had their horrible things like come back on them in such a way where it's caused somebody else to be vengeful upon them, and for good reason. Why did he kill that guy? Her dad. Was he just because he's a member of the trench coat from Morris Mafia? And that's going to be interesting.
I'm still putting my flag in the ground that man, the uncle, is Kingpin. And if you're working for Kingpin, then you can't be that much of a good person, in my opinion. And I think maybe she was sheltered from who her father really was. I'm not doubting that her father loved her, but at the same time, I do believe that her father was not as good of a person as she thought he was. We have Vance now saying his goodbyes. Well, I'm out, guys. I enjoyed what I could catch up the show. So be sure to watch on the rewind. Oh, thank you very much. 100 grits for you.
Yes.
And we will keep on jerking on.
Peace and
Working
long
on
life, my
myself.
homie.
Yes, Mary Santa Claus. Alright. But nevertheless, with this episode, we had a nice moment with they're in the cafe. Clint gets his hearing aid repaired by this woman who is able to do these things, and then they they go back to Kate's house, and you find out Kate is very rich. He finds out Kate is very rich, and they start doing some hacking and cracking. But Kate is blocked from all of the information, and then Hawkeye, basically working on his senses, decides to look around the house, and that's when Jack puts the Ronin sword to his neck, and the episode
Yeah.
ends. Dun dun dun! Now, I don't think much is going to come from this because Kate is in the house with them, so I think it's going to get resolved very quickly. So it wasn't much of a cliffhanger as far as I was concerned. Anyway, episode ends. How did you like the cliffhanger ending? Chito.
I mean, we've seen in the trailers, which is why it's my own fault for watching too many trailers. But we've seen in the trailers where Hawkeye and Kate are sitting there in Kate's home talking to her mom. So we know that even if there's a fight at the beginning of next episode with Hawkeye and the swordsman, or Jack or whatever you want to call him right now, even if that does happen, it's not going to be like he reveals himself to be like this big master villain. Like if anything, he'll see Kate's there, he'll make himself lose on purpose to Clint, and then they'll be like, oh, I thought you were a burglar. Ah.
Duh, 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 duh. Anyway, but the thing is that I don't know. I'm interested to see where it goes because I want to see more of Echo. I want to see. I want again. Haley Steinfeld is obviously the star of this show, which is a shame because I want to see more Jeremy Renner because I like Jeremy Renner quite a lot.
Well, but I also think Jeremy Renner's on his way out. I mean,
the dude's 50 and he looks great for 50.
yeah.
He's an actor. The old actors, they keep in great shape.
Yeah, but all right. If you do not know he's 50, you can easily pass for late 30s at
40?
least. Yeah, I'd say 40
But
at least. He looks 10 years younger than he's 50, and he looks great for his age. I mean, he's in
I
great
just
shape
want
for
to
his
say,
age.
I just want to say that, him fighting a swordsman is not a mismatch. I know the guy is a swordsman, but Clint is no amateur fighter with a sword himself.
No,
He
I
knows
know.
how to use a blade. So I think they'll be very evenly matched. I do think maybe swordsman might have the edge. Might. Just to be
Did
fair
you?
on the swordsman. Because Clint is an archer more than a swordsman himself. But
No, but he did
nevertheless,
use a sword when he was a Ronin. Yeah, that
yes,
that
exactly. Yes,
retractable sword thing.
I
All
do
right,
agree. And I do think
so
they'll be
what?
evenly matched sportsman. I just think that maybe the swordsman will be just a tiny, winkly, little bit better.
Well, I think they're
Okay,
going to be
so
evenly matched too. I just think that that's why I said he will let himself lose in front of Kate to make it seem like he's not as good as he, because that whole sequence with them fighting, fencing. Anyway, go ahead, boss man.
Hmm.
I was gonna say, so what would you guys want to see for next week? Let's do that. So I'll go first. Less of the wacky crap and more serious, getting on with it. Because the thing is that I want to see more of Echo acting and Echo's character. Because again, I only got a couple of scenes with her. Now the scenes I did get were great. Don't get me wrong, but I want to see more of that actress because, the thing is that she's only done like a couple of emotions, which is mostly angry, which I understand because she's supposed to be playing an angry character at the moment. But I want to see maybe she's more conflicted than we think. Because maybe she has an inkling in her head who her dad really was. Um, trying to think. And I want to see more of maybe like his home life. We see Linda Carlini more. We see his children more. We get to see how what he does maybe has a deeper impact than what we see. But that's me personally. What do you guys think?
I don't think there's that much wackiness, and I think I think the balance is very well done, in my opinion. I think there's humor there. I I am very I'm really liking Kate Bishop very much. There's a she there's a real how do I say her devotion, and she's not like a Mary Sue,
Oh,
which
I
are
was
not many
just
people.
you beat me by one. I was just gonna say that.
You can see she very much likes Clint and knows that that they say never meet your heroes. Well, in this particular case, it's good that she did because Clint is a hero, and he's not just a hero; he's a good person too. You know, and you can see that rubbing off on Kate in some of the moments of Chicago's secret hideout. The appreciation that she got when she was called a great archer by Clint. I love those moments from her because she's just so excited to be a hero, and I very much appreciate that very much. And I'm liking Clint Button too. He's a man who's very wedded by the life he's lived, and he just wants to get back to his family. And I hope by the end of this season he does, because that would make the show perfect. And I want to see fucking Kingpin. Okay,
I want Mephisto. Give me Mephisto.
next
Oh, for
episode, by the
fuck's
way,
sake!
regarding next episode,
Right, we had that conversation a long time ago, and I again that was my fault.
regarding next episode, no, that was you and what was his name? I forgot now. Uh, Apocalypse. That's it. Anyway, nevertheless, next episode, I want to. I just want to see some more revelations. I don't want a big revelation at the end. I want one next episode. A big one. A big, fat, juicy, hung episode. Big, fat, and juicy. I want a revelation. Would it be Kingpin or the Mother is the bad guy? Yevara Belova? I don't care. I want something revealed next week. What
Okay.
about you guys?
Yeah, yeah, I definitely agree. Anyway, less Christmas music. No, I actually like the Christmas music. It
I was
kind of
about to
like
say I like the
gives
Christmas.
Hey,
I mean, we haven't had a Christmas theme thing this well done since Die Hard. I mean, let's be real. So
Lethal Weapon 1. But, and Die Hard 2 is also a Christmas movie, people forget. But nevertheless, the Christmas theme must stay because it's going to be Christmas every day. And I like the fact that we are getting a seasonal uh, show like this. This is something we can watch every Christmas, and I very much appreciate it. Do you think we might see some other people within the MCU pop up on this show, like already
uh,
established?
the only
I
person I can
just
think of is Helena
I
Belova.
think
That's the
Yelena
only
Yeah,
person.
Belova's pretty much the only one we're gonna see. I'm guessing.
Yeah, I know.
I still am skeptical. And as I said, if I'm wrong, I'm glad I'm wrong. I'm still skeptical of Kingpin's actually showing up in this one.
okay. Um, well, I hope we see So Carval and maybe Van der Belt Ross, maybe. It depends on how much of the city they destroy, when it comes to the shenanigans. That is Kate and Hawkeye, that is, by the way. So, nevertheless, now, I just want to tell you all tomorrow we're doing Discovery. Star Trek Discovery, episode 4, yaar. I can't wait for it, yaar. It'll be very exciting. And I'll be
I
with
thought it was
my
episode
friend,
3.
episodes, whatever it may be. But we're doing it tomorrow. 3, 4, Marjorie Joe. We're gonna do it tomorrow. And I can't wait because Discovery has made me very excited. And this odd man with his odd ticker, he likes to get very excited all the time. I can't wait. We have one more message here from Daniel once. If Kingpin isn't in this, he'll definitely appear in the Echo series. One would think. He's too entwined in the story of Echo. I agree, my friend. Daniel, my friend, I agree. I want to see him eventually turn up. Vincent D'Onofrio. Gary disappeared. That's that Manchester internet. It is not very good. I use London internet because London is better than Manchester. Nevertheless, tomorrow is Discovery, and then on Friday we're going to be talking about Triple H, the lame, turned into the game, and how he married his way to the top of the business. So please join us on YouTube for these live events, as well as other videos we may pop up with as recordings if anything popular or any late news comes out. You'll hear it from us. Then, teacher, before we depart, you got anything you'd like to say?
Nope, I think I'm good. I like the episode, and I'm looking forward to more next week.
Me too. Me too, my brother. Okay, we have Gary kind of half back. Okay, Gary, we are going now, my friend. As you buffer your way into this conversation, thank you very much, Daniel. It's been fun. We're off now. We'll see you guys tomorrow for the Discovery Show. Thank
Right,
you very much.
I'm just gonna talk about. Can I just discuss one thing? I think that
Yes,
echoes
please.
Mephisto. So, so,
You know
so-
what? That is a fantastic theory you have, and I hope people take it seriously because I am. Okay, thank you very much for watching. Have a nice day. We see you, lovely children, very soon. Bye bye.